What's up, YouTube? It's Josh. This is the Den of Nerds. We've got to talk Justice League, guys, because Warner Brothers brought a bunch of different journalists to the set of Justice League in Europe and had them kind of poke around, look at some stuff, and basically try to curb a lot of the bad PR that had happened from Batman v Superman. So let's get into it. Now, I got to start by saying this channel was not up when Batman v Superman came out, so I wasn't able to do a review of it, but let me just really quickly give you my thoughts on Batman v Superman. Are you ready? That's my thoughts. We'll go into further detail to that later. But getting to the Justice League stuff, some of the people that were actually brought to this set were journalists who had put very scathing reviews of Batman v Superman out. They were literally reached out to by people from Warner Brothers and people from Zack Snyder's production company. And they basically were bringing people to the set to try to alleviate some of this bad PR and get people excited again about the Justice League. Because Warner Brothers put a lot of money into BvS, and not only BvS, the DC Cinematic Universe in general. I mean, they already have wrapped production on Wonder Woman. Suicide Squad comes out in just a couple weeks, and that has the Batman. It's connected to the universe that they've created. They bet the proverbial farm on this DC Cinematic Universe. And after the performance of Batman v Superman and how it was accepted by both critics and fans alike, you can't really blame them for doing something like this. So let's get into what these people saw and what was shown and what I think about it. They got to see a scene that was cut together. This was a scene that was shot prior and cut together for them to view. I believe that this scene was something to do with the Flash, very akin to the scene in Civil War, where the Spider-Man character, Tom Holland's Spider-Man, comes into his apartment and sees Tony Stark there. It's basically a lot like that scene where you have Ezra Miller's Barry Allen coming back to his laboratory and finding Batman sitting there and tweaking with his stuff. Apparently the scene's really bright from what I hear. There's a big tonal shift. It seems really cool. The Flash seems really funny. And it seems like it is going to be a good scene. That's what I gather from it. By the way, I really don't think that Warner Brothers would cut together a shitty or mediocre or even okay or good scene for these people to see. They probably pick something very specifically. Now that Jeff Johns is kind of over there, you know, the big swinging dick, he is probably doing things in a very PR-centered way because they have a problem. They have a big PR problem because of the performance and the acceptance of Batman v Superman. So they got to see that scene. Apparently, it was really dope. They also got to be on set when another scene was being filmed between the Batman and Commissioner Gordon and possibly a few other members of the Justice League as well. This was the first day that J.K. Simmons was on set, and apparently he looks a lot like Commissioner Gordon. I know some people were concerned when we saw the picture that was circulating on social media where he was all jacked up, and he looked a lot more like Master Roshi than Commissioner Gordon. And everyone was like, oh no, here we go. We're going to get a Zack Snyder version of Commissioner Gordon. Probably snapping necks and cashing checks. But apparently that's not going to happen. Apparently it looks just like what you would think Commissioner Gordon looks like. Straight out of the comics, straight out of the animated series. So we're all good there. The big takeaways from the film and the things that the people on set were saying, including Ben Affleck, which is kind of interesting because he's a pretty closed off guy. When he's in the filmmaking process, he doesn't have open sets at all. People don't really go onto his sets and observe things. He's not really into that. In fact, I think even on some of the movies that he's on, when press comes, he makes it a point not to be there or to not answer questions or do anything like that. But the whole deal with this stunt is them like letting the public know, letting journalists know, and everybody be a part of this process and get excited about it, which is good because Batman v Superman and Man of Steel before it were both kind of secret projects. We didn't hear too much about them until they came out, and they were really poorly received. So I think that we're in this new state of media that I believe they're starting to embrace, and that is, let people be a little bit more a part of this process, because their core audience and the opinion makers in the community and the people that are going to drive people to go see these movies, you want to win them over first. So you can put something out there. If they like it, that's really great. If they don't like it, you can find out why, and you can make adjustments. You can audible at the line. They're really, 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 really trying to shove this whole tonal shift into everyone's face. They want everyone to know that Batman, because of Superman's sacrifice in Batman v Superman, he's going to turn over a new leaf. He's going to be looking for a team and trying to do and be the Batman that we know and love from the comics. He's going to try to be more of that guy, and more selfless and less murdery. I guess I'll talk a little bit about the whole Steppenwolf Darkseid thing. The plot is centered around mother boxes and the whole idea of 3 mother boxes being left on Earth after an initial conflict with Darkseid, maybe a long, long time ago. It has to do with the Atlanteans, it has to do with the Amazons, and it has to do with early man. Now that quite frankly sounds really dope. Like, I really, really like that idea, and apparently there's going to be a really nice prologue that explains why those 3 mother boxes are so important. And not Darkseid, but Steppenwolf is going to be the main villain, the person maybe looking for the mother boxes with the help of parademons, because there's definitely parademons on set. Like, they're talking about parademons in one of these scenes. It just, I don't know, it seems kind of weird, right? I mean, that whole deleted scene that was released to the public after like a couple days of Batman v Superman being out that showed Steppenwolf, yeah, that was super dope, but why would you not put that in your film if it's so relevant to the next picture? Are those possibly the 3 mother boxes that are going to be a part of this movie? That the ones that Lex was seeing with the weird robotic Terminator from Terminator 2 Steppenwolf thing that we saw? Maybe, but once again, like, put that in the movie. Honestly, that scene anywhere in the movie, even randomly cut and inserted, would have improved the movie. It definitely wouldn't have done anything to make it worse, in my opinion. Like I said, let me get right to what I'm thinking about this stuff, guys. So here's the deal. It's a PR stunt. They are saying exactly what every comic book fan wants to hear. But what you have to ask yourself is, are they saying this because it's true, or are they saying this because it is what we want to hear? This film, I believe that if Batman v Superman would have been a little more well received, we'd still just be getting like this dark, grim version of the Justice League. And honestly, just for my part, the like mise en scène or the mood of Batman v Superman, or BvS, was not the problem. That was not the issue. The issue was you made a shit film that was just full of hair trigger reactions and decisions. And in my opinion, studio interference. I'll go into this more later, but I do not think that this is Zack Snyder's fault. Zack Snyder is the guy that took the greatest comic book of all time, Alan Moore's Watchmen, and did a pretty damn good adaptation to the silver screen. Like it or hate it, all of the themes that are in Alan Moore's Watchmen are hit upon in that movie, and the art and the way that those scenes pop and are put together, the vision, that film to me is a brilliant adaptation of the best comic book of all time. So you're talking about a guy who's got the stuff, and I just cannot look at BvS and say that that is Snyder's fault. It just really felt like something where people at Warner Brothers were like, no, change this, change this, change this. And Zack was kind of caught in the middle, and I guess did the best that he could. I really want to see that extended cut. I want to see the extended cut. I'm hoping it's a much better film. And I'm betting it is. And I'll be able to say, yeah, see, not Zack's fault. I hope. But either way, that's the deal with what's going on with Justice League. Let me know in the comment section below. Like, do you agree with me? Do you think that it's just lip service? I mean, it is kind of cool that they're doing all this, but it's way too early for it to really be impactful. I don't know if it's going to translate. And you know what? It could honestly just be something to curb the PR that's going to happen with Suicide Squad, which I don't know if you've been paying attention to some of the things people are saying about Suicide Squad, but I have a lot of concerns when it comes to that film. I think that's going to be, I don't know, man. I don't really want to speculate, but if I was forced to, I would say I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's going to really, really let people down. So, let me know. What do you think? What do you think about the Justice League movie? What do you think about this whole plot line with the mother boxes and Steppenwolf and all these crazy things and the ancient Amazons and the ancient Atlanteans and humans? I mean, that seems really cool. Are you excited? Has this gotten you more hyped for Justice League? Or are you more in the lines with me where you're like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. This is just an obvious PR stunt. Time to check that nerd card. So today's question is going to be about the Watchmen film. It makes a big change to the ending. I actually kind of like the change in the movie a little bit more anyways, but in the film, Dr. Manhattan is this big super threat that gets blamed for blowing stuff up and basically the catalyst for humanity reaching a actual state of peace and working together out of fear for him. But it was actually fear for something else, and there's an iconic shot of a certain thing basically forming that's being built the entire comic, that it forms in New York City and blows a bunch of stuff up. What was that thing? Answer in the comment section below. And as always, I hope you're having an awesome and nerdy day. See ya!